Hey guys, how's it going? We're here at my folks' house today and we're going to prepare a traditional Sicilian dish. We come from the province of Trapani in Sicily, which is on the furthest west point of Sicily. And it's one of those dishes that they call cuscous di pesca, which is a couscous dish with a fish broth. It's a warm dish. Traditionally, some couscous you might have had is served cold, almost like a salad with cucumber and all kinds of funky ingredients. But this is a warm dish. They should call it couscous with many steps, because you'll see in this video that there's all these multiple steps, and it does take a long time to prepare. So I hope you guys like it, and I guess, check it out and try it out one day. I'm sure you're really going to love it, because there's some really great flavors in this dish that you don't really have in most traditional dishes from Italy. It's a unique dish. There's a lot of influences from different countries, from Arabic influences and Spanish influence and everything else like that. But check out the video, and I hope you like it. So that's what we're making now, is the couscous. It's called cream of wheat.
Yes.
Turn that around.
Yeah.
It's the cream of wheat. There's 2 boxes. Yeah.
Some
Okay.
Okay. So what are you doing? You do some.
Pour that in a bowl.
About that much. And then I'm lefty, so I have to go this way.
So is that warm water?
Warm water. And then you roll it. And you roll it. And you roll it.
So for now, you're just clumping it up, and then when that's clumped up, you're gonna
dry a little bit.
it's got to dry like a pasta.
Yeah.
So it's basically a feel thing. So are you gonna keep adding all that whole box there?
No, I do pieces and I
A bit at a
dump it
time,
and
and then you'll spread it on this tablecloth here.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, you get 2 boxes of cream of wheat. So this is gonna serve how many people?
I'm gonna serve about 8, 9, 10
8 to 10 people.
Yeah.
It's all done. So now you spread it.
Spread it like this. And then when you put them all, you move it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you just leave it and just keep repeating that process. Okay.
It's your phone, Joe.
My phone.
Yeah. Maybe mine hasn't.
So nothing else. So right now it's just cream of wheat and just drips of water.
Yeah.
And it really is, like, there's no measurements here. You just got to really see what it feels like.
Yeah.
So I could try and explain what the consistency. Oh, it's a bit soggy. It's a bit soggy, but just clumps up enough.
No, I don't put a salt. I put a salt when I put out the finite stone on prostate. So they don't know if they're gonna operate.
So now you spread it like that. How thick do you leave it on the counter, on the table? Just move it around.
Yeah.
So it's now just got to dry.
You gotta dry a little bit.
It's almost like making fresh pasta,
Yeah,
but you've got to leave it out to dry for about an hour or so. So then you scoop it all up and you break up all the clumps.
And then we'll go back again.
4 onions there.
4 onions goes when we make the sauce.
Okay, for the sauce. Okay.
And 1 for the mix it up in the
Couscous. Okay, so this one's going to be for the couscous.
Yeah.
So you just peel it and do you chop it?
Yeah, really small one.
All right, so this is for the fish broth. I believe this is what they call like red snapper.
Yeah.
So did it come chopped like that, or did you chop it up?
I chop it up.
Okay, so how many pieces of fish is that? 2 pieces of fish, 2 big fish.
3 fish, it's
3
90
fish.
pieces.
9 pieces, 3 fish.
Plenty.
So you chop it up, and
Put a salt.
you throw a bit of salt, you rinse it off with water, so now he's
Yeah,
going
you wash
to pat it down.
Yeah, you gotta wash it good.
Okay, and that's going to be your main soup broth. So I'll show you the next part in a second. So some olive oil goes into the pot. Now we're back to the pot with the onions.
yeah.
So there's 4 onions in there chopped. Okay, olive oil, you coat the bottom pretty thick. I don't know, looked like it was about
Yeah,
4 or 5 tablespoons, maybe more.
More.
Okay, so he's going to add a bit of salt to the onions as they're cooking. Everything's by eye here. There's no measurements. So right now, the onions are cooking. He's just preparing the tomato sauce. And also I'm noticing some tomato paste. Is that tomato paste going in the recipe too? Okay. So I think he's got 3 cans of tomato paste, 1 jar of tomato sauce. And you got to stir those onions, like I said, till they're soft and translucent. And then I believe the fish heads go in next. It's cooking away there. Looking good. Those heads, they go in. Eyeballs and all.
Everything.
Lips, eyelashes, everything. And once that goes in, you now have to start crushing and breaking apart the fish head. So that's all going to break up once you let it cook down, it softens up, and you break it all up. So with the remaining pieces of the fish, you just put it aside, and we're going to add that later to the sauce once the sauce has cooked for a while, and then it's kind of like the last stage of it. But so you just put those aside. You can put them in the fridge for a while or whatever you like to do. So as you can see, the fish is breaking up really nice. The fish cooks very fast. So, once it's cooking for 5 to 10 minutes, you just keep breaking it up. You're breaking down all the meat in the cheeks, everything, the eyes, everything, bones. Break it all down. Keep smashing it with the wooden spoon. Stir it occasionally because you don't want it to stick to the bottom. And once that kind of breaks down completely, you start adding the tomato paste. But did your mom and dad make this when you were growing up?
Yeah.
I never knew it since I met your brother.
My mom born in Castelluzzo.
That's where they make
We
it.
make the Christmas all the time.
So there goes the tomato sauce.
Yeah.
So now you let that cook. So what he's got going on over here, they look like prawns. They are prawns. That's going into the soup as well. Shells and all.
Yeah.
That's where most of the flavor is. So here's a recipe book that my dad holds on to. It's like the San Vito Lo Capo, Kusunashi, and the surrounding areas. And this is where they have a couscous festival every year. And that's the page to it. Let me just move these glasses. So basically, they do this festival. And this is what the dish looks like. I mean, there's variations, and we're making our family version of this recipe. A lot of it's by memory, but he does, time to time, refer to this book. But if you're really interested and you want to learn more about Sicilian-style couscous, you can go online and Google San Vito Couscous Festival and check it out. Apparently, thousands of people go there for this festival from all over the world to try the different variation dishes of this couscous. But it's pretty cool. So now it's looking like more like a tomato sauce, but you'll see that everything changes. So you add right now that's the second jar of water. How much you fill that up? Pretty much to.
You gotta figure out how much you use.
It's about right there, the pot. Once again, no measurements here. It's all by eye. He just keeps on adding water, and then okay, and now you add some black pepper. Black pepper, about that much, no measurements. Some chili flakes, and I think a little bit more salt to top it off, and then we're just going to let it cook for a bit.
taste and see what
Yeah. And then along the way, you have to, you know, taste your product. You need to know what you need to add to it.
the sausage still no cook. So
Yeah.
take your time.
Okay, so now that the soup has come to a boil, you take your, I don't know, how many are in there? About 12?
27.
27 prawns? Wow, okay. And in they go. So it's really like a big seafood mix in a way with your snapper, your prawns. So you let those cook in there until, I don't know, a few minutes.
Few minutes, you know.
And then he will take them out and then de-shell them. That's why you got to count how many you put in there so you know that you retrieved the same amount. Okay, so after, I don't know, 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, you take the prawns out. Of the soup. So the sauce has been cooking for about, 45 minutes to almost an hour or so. And now the last step, one of the steps, is to take the remainder of the fish and put it in. And you can, and so basically the sauce is going to take on more of the red snapper flavor. But the thing is, you don't leave the fish in the whole time. We're just getting it to pull the flavors out of the red snapper. Okay? And you're going to let it cook just for a few minutes. Pull that flavor out. The meat will just start cooking. You want to take it out because you want to save that for the day you serve the couscous and serve the fish separately. All right, the fish has been in there for about 5 minutes or a little more. So that's, it's just starting to cook. It's pulled a lot of flavor out. And you just transfer that. So once the fish has been transferred out of the sauce is obviously still boiling. The shrimp that you took out, now you want to peel that and put all of the shelling and casing and everything else back into the soup because that still holds a lot of shrimp flavor and you want that into the soup. But we're going to save the shrimp because you don't want to overcook it in the soup. We'll serve that later near the end. They'll probably add it once the soup is finished and you're ready to serve. You just throw it in there, warms it up, and it tastes fantastic. So if there's one thing we can't emphasize enough is you got to constantly taste the soup and see what else needs to be added. Does it need more salt? Does it need more pepper? Does it need anything? How is it? It's perfect? Doesn't need anything?
No.
Okay. So you let that sucker boil for a while, and you come back, and we'll let you know what the next step is. So the soup is simmering, the couscous is cooking, and now there's another step. You take about, it's funny, it's crazy. What do we got here?
But
How many
almost
cloves of
2
garlic?
head.
2 heads of garlic?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 head, 1 head.
No, 2.
2 heads of garlic. Cut it all up. Mortar and pestle, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, this sucker's been around
Generally,
our family for 50 plus odd years. So you cut up those 2 heads of garlic, and then over there, my dad's got the parsley chopping. You take, I don't know, a bunch of parsley, chop it all up, and what you do is you transfer it back into here. We'll add the parsley in a minute, add some salt, and we're going to crush it up. And what happens is once that's done, that goes into the soup to top it off. All right, so here goes the salt. Once again, no measuring spoons,
Yeah.
not allowed.
not in that recipe. But if they have an automatic grinder, they could do it in
I like this version better. I find that when you smash the garlic, it
Better.
pulls out more flavor.
Yeah.
When you chop it up in one of those
Yeah, chopper.
blender things, it's not the same. It doesn't come out the
I'll
same.
give you one of these. You have?
No, I don't.
Yes,
I
I
want to
do.
get one of those. I want to get a
I'll give
wood
you
one. I don't like
When I went
the...
to Mexico, I bought one for you.
Yeah, but it was the size of a...
Small.
It was tiny. You couldn't really do anything with it.
comida de eso.
Yeah. We're gonna have to go on eBay and find one of these. Yeah, so anyways, you smash that up, and then we're gonna add some
Parsley.
parsley in a minute.
Good bowl.
So you can either add the parsley into the mortar and pestle mix, or put it straight into the pot. Like that. We didn't camera block any of this, folks. We just, we're shooting on the fly. So that goes in there. See, the soup's still going. And it does taste amazing. I had a taste. Salt is perfect. Stir that around. So I guess once you put the garlic in, how much longer does it have to boil for?
Not much, because now it's very warm.
Just what, 5-10 more minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the garlic goes
Now,
in.
This is going the garlic in here. That's it. We're all set to go.
Yeah.
I love the garlic. I could get a little spoon, Mr. Joe.
He's
okay?
got it there.
Yeah.
We're not gonna lose a drop.
Yeah, every bit of it has to go inside there. There we go.
And then if they like less garlic, they put a lot. So they're not.
So you got lots of flavors going in on that. All right, now you just sit
All
back,
set
let
and
that
relax.
simmer some more, and then we'll check on the couscous steaming in a little bit. Okay, so this is the preparation part. So this is to steam the couscous.
Yeah.
So what happens is
Put the couscous in here.
yeah, and it
and
fits.
then we put it here.
Fits over that. Okay, but inside there, lift up the pot. Inside here, he's got water and half an onion, just chopped up, really for flavoring. So when that boils, that flavor will steam through that,
You gotta put some shrimp.
and then the couscous will cook, and we'll show you that part when we get to it.
Yeah.
So back to the couscous that we made earlier. So this has been sitting for at least 45 minutes, right? And you just have to move it around again, flatten all the, don't press too hard, but you just break up the big chunks. You'll see some big chunks there, and you just break it up, move it around. And then the next stage will be flavoring.
Yeah.
We're gonna start flavoring it. All right, so the couscous is dried. The soup is boiling with the fish in it. Oop. You take all the couscous and put it in this bowl,
No, leva esa cosa del
and then you're gonna transfer it. And now we're gonna start adding some flavors to the couscous.
I don't wanna
So basically, it's, where's my hand? There's my hand.
It's dry already.
It's really dry. It's not autofocusing that great, but anyway, it's nice and dry. There's no moisture in it at all anymore. And you just keep transferring it.
No, it may.
All right,
Keep
so
that.
now you dump that on, I guess, like a cutting board or working board. Most of you folks who have parents that are Italian, you all own one of
You could
these
do here, but the
big
people
old
can't
pieces of
get
wood
for-
there.
Give me the salt, pepper.
Okay, now it's time for flavoring. So what we have here is a prepared half an onion chopped and some parsley, just to add a little bit of flavor inside there. Then the salt goes in.
Measure.
Measure just about, looks like a tablespoon or so. Spread that around. So the standard, salt, pepper, same amount in your palm, or a little less. That goes in there
That's
too.
according to your flavor, according to like
Yeah, according to your taste buds, whether you like a little bit more pepper in your food or not.
there's kids, so we're gonna cut down.
And right now he's preparing the bay leaves. That goes in there too.
You find the pepper. Okay.
And last but not least, you add paprika,
If you want.
and that gives it
give
a
color.
nice, colorful, kind of red-brown type of look, because once the couscous cooked, it does turn color from this lighter, cream of wheat looking white, I guess, to a little bit of a brown. So that paprika really does change the color profile. Once again, no tablespoons, no measuring things. You kind of go by eye.
And the oil.
Have you added the oil
You
yet?
already put the salt. Right?
You've already added salt. You just need to add some oil, right?
Yeah.
And what does the oil do?
I moist it.
Gives it a bit more moisture?
Yeah. Because this is gonna go be a side boy. Hello, Yuju.
So when you cook that or steam it, it doubles in size? Mm-hmm. Okay. Didn't know that. That's why we record these recipes, you know? You have to go and document this stuff because these are recipes that most of them aren't written down, and I'm sure if they are written down, they change from family to family because people just add stuff and omit stuff and just, you know. So this is a good way to make sure that we keep this tradition alive. There's your olive oil.
Okay, because the oil then it drip. So
Right.
if you put
You don't
too
want
much,
you don't want too much because then it'll drip into the
water.
boiling water.
and
Because
it's
now this
wasted.
next step will be the steaming process. And now she'll add in the onions and parsley. Once again, that was prepared earlier. We didn't show that, but so we're about an hour and a bit into this this process. It is a bit steppy. It does require a lot of time, but man, the end result is fantastic, which we'll show you
When we eat
when we cook it. Finish it off tomorrow when it's time to eat. Now, my dad likes to make the recipe a day before because he finds that when you mix it with the fish broth, the flavor of the broth adheres and soaks into the couscous more than if you made it the same day and served it that time.
Okay, Frank.
Okay, what's
You
that?
see what we have.
Yeah, it's the sieve. Yeah.
This gotta go, and not gonna touch the water.
Yeah, that bottom part does not touch the water.
No.
It has to be steamed.
Yeah.
So then you transfer that into your, I don't even know the proper terminology of what this thing is. It's kind of, it acts as a sieve, but it fits right over that boiling
Tell the
pot of water.
calendar, but
You gotta put it easier, the way it come out from outside. Slow.
All right, so she's almost transferred all of that into the pot. So what you do is you put a layer, go ahead, and you just stick those bay leaves like so, so that you make sure that that flavor does get infused
and then you finish the rest.
into the couscous. So then you just top off the rest, like so.
And it's done. Really.
All right,
Doesn't take too long.
so I guess step whatever is done.
Step or whatever.
Yeah, so
what
let's
we
just
do.
go see what happens next.
Right, what do we-
Okay, so the couscous is ready in the sieve or colander, and that sets right on top of the boiling pot of water there. You bring it up too high. So what you're going to do is steam that, and rather than putting a lid on top, what you do is you take a paper towel and you just place it right over top. Okay, and then, so you let that cook for about an hour,
Lord,
And then we try if it's good.
and then we, obviously, once again, like we said before, you gotta taste it, see if it's consistent enough, if it has to cook longer, and we'll give you an update when that happens. So the couscous has been steaming for about an hour, and now there's another step, surprise, surprise. The couscous has to come off of the stove, and we're going to put it in a bowl and add some of the broth to the couscous, mix it up, and then set it right back in here. So we're going to show you this process now. So, okay. And here you go, look at that. So you're starting to see a little bit of a coloration change, just a little bit. But now, that sucker Goes right in there.
Píllalo.
Easy.
Definitely like a better if you have a helper with you. It's kind of like a two-man or two-person job here. Here comes the broth.
Nice it is.
Píllalo un poquito, please.
It's okay. This is
Okay, hold on. So I think you have to scoop that up. So obviously there's a lot of bits and pieces in the thing, so you want to strain that and put like a saucepan full of juice in there. Maybe two. So now you're infusing the flavor of that, the soup or the fish broth into the couscous. And I believe we're going to stir it around a bit, mix it up.
Wait, can I have that?
Sure.
Put in there.
All right, so now you mix that all up.
See how big it gets.
Yeah, so now that obviously the couscous has almost doubled in size because once you steam it, it just gets bigger.
Span.
Oh, you could just smell that. It smells amazing. Okay,
Faster.
so you can reuse that, and
There you
back it goes into, we'll call that the steamer.
Yeah, it is a steam.
Goes back into the steamer. All of it goes back, and it's going to sit. How long is that going to sit on the stove for? Another?
No, now we cook it again.
Yeah, for how long
A
though?
little bit more.
What-
Maybe half an hour.
Then
Half
we
an
put it
hour?
Back again here,
And then we're gonna.
and we put the lots of juice.
Okay, so you put that paper towel back on, and it's, once again, you put that back on high, let it steam for what, another
Then we
15,
taste
20?
if it's a nice cook.
Yeah, but 15 minutes?
Maybe 15.
Maybe
20
15 minutes, you come and check up on it, and then give it a little taste. What are you looking for when you taste it? If all the flavor's there,
Yes,
or if,
everything.
No,
Yeah.
if it's
It's a cook.
if the
Very
couscous, the actual wheat is cooked?
Yeah, start to get soft.
Okay. Yeah, you want, so basically the couscous is still a little hard because it sat on the table and dried for an hour. So what you want to do is just make sure that it gets steamed enough so it just softens a bit. It's going to feel like a consistency of cooked rice. And then when that's done, we'll give it another sample and see where we're at. Okay, so it's been cooking for 15 minutes. It comes off the stove, back into the bowl. There it is.
it's a lot.
So once again, you're going to add more juice to the couscous. Really want to get those flavors soaked up into it.
At least we'll save it for tomorrow.
So 2 good heapers of, you know, I don't know, I would say that thing holds about 4 cups
Yeah, at least.
into there.
Okay. Okay.
You know, put that all goes back into there. You save the rest of that soup for when you're ready to serve, because what happens is the couscous absorbs all that juice. Now you're starting to see how the color is still changing, right? So when you're serving it, what you can do, you can serve it right now, or there's a big debate in the household where you let that sit overnight, let that juice absorb in there and serve it. You warm it up again the next day and it just holds way more flavor. But what you do is those shrimps and the fish that you prepared earlier, you could either place it on top or put it on the side of the plate and add it as you wish.
I'm gonna be.
And if you find that there's not enough flavor in the couscous, that's why you have this. You put that in a gravy boat or something like that, and then you add juice to your personal liking.
You're gonna have some, friend?
Well, we're going to sample it for sure. All right, now we're going to sample it. Okay,
Now,
set it
if you
down.
want a little
Just
juice, you
set
can
it down.
put a juice. If you want to eat like that, you eat like that. So you want some? I want some now. And chuck tomorrow.
For sampling, basically
different
you
taste.
add a little bit more juice on top once you do that mix. So you just strain it.
And I cover it up with it.
Oh, and this part here, the rest of it, because we're going to serve it tomorrow, you cover it up. You're going to put a blanket on it or something like that. Put it in a cool place and let it sit for the next day. And you would just simply reheat that,
And then
get the soup going again, and you're ready to rock. So here we go. We're going to try it out. Here we go. Let's give it a taste. It's really good. Yeah, it's a perfect amount of salt. You can taste the shrimp, the fish,
Yeah.
the garlic, the paprika, everything. It's delicious. And it's very filling too. A small bowl like this, you know, you want to have seconds, but it's so filling. But it's delicious. You got to try it out. Some people add, what else do they add, Mom? Do they put almonds or something on there? Some people will
you
grate
wanna
some
put-
almonds if you want to add that on there to give it another ingredient. But I like it straight up like this. It's perfect. Thanks a lot. Give it a try. Hope you enjoy it. Cheers.
so
That is good, yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow
There's enough.
time is better.
Yeah. So now the real test will be tomorrow. It's just going to be way more flavorful because the fish broth just gets absorbed deeper into the couscous.
What about